Hi, this is Gene from DNS Bait, and this report is current as of August 4th here on Thursday. Again, we're dealing with a lot of weather issues again this past week. A lot of heat again. A little bit of rain a few of the mornings here this past week, but still quite a few guys hitting the lakes up here on Lake Mendota. Still getting some decent perch reports at times. It's not on fire by any means, but almost every day I talk to somebody who does quite well out there. The fish are still on the weed line, still tight to the weeds, or just inside the outside of the edge of the weeds. Still catching some fish on occasion in Warner Bay on the Governor's Island side. Still getting some over in University Bay. Still getting a few over by the Hatch Cover, Marshall Park area, down by Spring Harbor, and I even hear up by at Fox Bluff and Bishop's Bay that weed line has been producing at times too. Smallmouth on the lake seem to be a little bit quiet. I don't hear a whole lot going on, although there are some guys getting a few on the weed lines and out on a little bit deeper rocks when they get active. Leeches, piece of crawler, plastics, all still seem to be taking fish at times. Catfish have been pretty quiet on the lake up here, which is unusual up on Lake Mendota the last several years. I haven't heard too much up into the marsh either for the catfish. Occasionally some guys are running into a few out on the weed lines, on the outside weed lines out on the lake, but that's really about it. Lake Monona, the bluegill bite continues to be pretty decent down there, although there's a lot of small fish. They are still catching some few nice ones on occasion, or you just got to move around till you find a few nice ones. The weed line, right up tight to the edge of the weeds, out to about 20 feet of water, seems to be the depth where the fish are most active at. Every day is a little bit different. Every time you go out, the area is a little bit different, but some fish in the 8+ inch range, but a lot more fish in the 5, 6, and 7 inch range. Perch have been reported to be active somewhat on Lake Monona still, but the best bite seems to be very early in the morning, right on the outside edge of the weeds in several areas. Muskie reports have been really slow coming in lately, and it's generally because this time of the year most of the avid muskie fishermen take a break and leave those fish alone. Once that surface temperature gets up in that 80-degree area, it's just so hard on those fish that the avid guys decide to take a little bit break. Down on Lake Wabeesa, it's been quite quiet down there. I haven't really heard too much going on that way, although there are still a few walleye reports I do hear at times. Guys throwing jigs and leeches on some of the deeper rocks just off some of the bars and stuff, but that's a sporadic report. That's not all the time by any means. And it sounds like the panfish bite that has picked up a little bit has been on the smaller side, the bluegills anyway, on the smaller side. And I have been getting a few reports of some bluegills and a few perch, believe it or not, up in Mud Lake in the dredge hole out there. I haven't heard that a lot. I've just heard it a couple of times. Down on Lake Kegonsa, those reports have been very sparse. I don't really hear a whole lot of anything this last week. The reports that we're getting prior to that were pretty sporadic. Occasionally a nice perch or bluegill, but for the most part it was kind of slow down there. Up on Lake Wisconsin, that walleye bite, from what I hear, has tapered a bit, although they're still catching some, trolling up that way. And I did just hear today that there's been a good bluegill bite going on over up on Fox Lake, just up above Beaver Dam Lake over there. I haven't heard anything on Beaver Dam Lake, but Fox Lake's been pretty good. Really, I guess that's about it right for now. If you guys got any pictures, please email them to me. We want to get those up and use them on the slideshow for these reports, and I'd love to do it. So just email them in, and we'll take care of that. That's about it for right now. You can call the report line if you're on the road. That's a phone line, 608-244-3474. Or if you got any questions you need to get answered, you can call us at the store at 608-241-4225. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.